Hey guys, hey YouTube world. I'm here with my brother, and we are actually, this is the first time in a while we've been together to test drive a new vehicle. This is a 2023 Nissan Ariya. Am I saying that right? Ariya?
Ariya, I think
Ariya, right? And to be honest, I was looking that word up and I wanted to find out if there was a little like meaning behind it. And apparently in the Buddhist community, the word Ariya means the noble one, which I thought was pretty interesting. Fun fact, right? So anyway, wanted to share this car with you guys and walk around and check it out and see what it's all about. So let's get right to it. All right, Dave, we're going to be reviewing the 2023 Ariya. You know, I saw this in one of the parking lots at Nissan, and I thought it was a really cool shaped car. It kind of reminds me of the Volkswagen ID.4. And you said it looked kind of like what?
It reminded me a little of the basic shape, general shape, like the Ford Edge maybe.
The Ford Edge. Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, it does look a little bit like that. It's a little bit on the sportier side. I like the black on black look. I think that's pretty cool. You know, let's start at the front. You know, let's take a look at some of these features that it's got. I like the LED lights in the front. You know, the like driving lights there. That's a full LED light here. Yeah, see if you can turn on the headlights. See if we can get any of this. All right, so full LED headlights, brights. Wow, that's super bright, yeah. The full LED light that comes down, that's the directional. That's pretty cool. And I wonder if at night anything in this grille turns on. You know, I'd be curious to see what happens at night. But this has got to be good looking at night too, for sure. It's got 19-inch wheels, I believe. These are 235/55 R19s. This is the Bridgestone Alenza version. And you know what? I just noticed this right now. Normal handles.
Yeah, that's
normal handles on an EV. Look at this.
Like
normal handles. Right? You don't have to worry about like anything unusual, you know, pushing it like on a Tesla and hoping it comes out. You know, thank God, a normal handle. So, I mean, I think it really is sleek looking. I think it's really cool looking.
Everybody's used to it.
And these are hubcaps, or these are wheels? These are hubcaps. They're plastic. I mean, it's a nice looking car for sure. You know, so this is the 2023 Nissan Ariya Engage Plus all-wheel drive, e-4ORCE up to 272 miles. Now, when we were driving it here, I noticed that. How many miles did it say it had, the range?
The range on the dashboard was showing 351, I believe.
351 miles. So something's a little, we're going to ask about that, but the car actually says it can go 351 miles on a full charge, where this is saying 272 miles plus.
So maybe it can do better.
So maybe there is an extended range capability. Actual range will vary with trim levels, options, and driving conditions. See customer disclosure for details. We had the AC on, it was running, and it still said 350 miles. So that was impressive. You know, I mean, that's like normal car range, you know, for an ICE vehicle. So, oh yeah. Also, normal compartment. You know, it's nothing electronic, right? For your electric plugs. Go ahead and explain the...
So you know, what's nice about this compared to some of the other companies that it does have covers, but they're quick to open covers and automatic kind of. You just push
a little lever there.
And the first level 2 or level 1 or level 2 opens up, and then you can open the second one for the, you know, supercharging. But that's nice. I thought that was nice. So you have covers
for both.
Some of the cars, for some reason, they only have it for the high DC level charging.
And you created your own cover for this fast charger.
Actually,
correct?
On my Hyundai, it came with the cover for this one, but not for the level.
Oh, I see.
Reason.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I made my own.
Your own cover for it.
3D printed. You know, I purchased one actually that I could use because I figured, even if it's a lower level charging, why would you want dirt and dust?
Is that a universal? You ordered that on Amazon?
Yeah, you can use it on any level too.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Well, send me that link and I'll share that with everybody.
Okay,
that's pretty cool. All right, cool. Yeah, that's normal. You don't have to worry about any electronics or this like failing when it doesn't open or anything like that. It's just something else that won't break. So I like that. Normal handles, normal hatch for power. It's got the protective covers for the power. It's a 4-seater. It's got plenty of room inside, that's for sure. I mean, it might be a little tight if someone on the large end was sitting here, but I do have room. I mean,
so the seat's all the way back. That's all the way back. And this is about in the middle.
That's kind of where you would normally sit?
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, look how much room I have.
And then this is all the way up, which would still have a leg room, but your knees would dip in the front would definitely be up at the
Yeah, up too close to the dash.
I could probably still fit in there, but yeah, it's a little tight. But you can make room if you had to.
Yeah, the rear is very spacious. It's got heated seats in the rear. So a USB-A, USB-C in the rear. Vents here, you know, so you can kind of play around with that. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of room in here. Plenty of headroom. I got like probably 6 inches of headroom over my head. No, that's excellent. Let's look at the back. No, it's not power. It's actually hydraulic. So if you're looking for power, you know what? You might need to go for one step up above this model. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to ask about that also.
They definitely do offer it though.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. First aid kit.
You got your manuals, OEM kit. That's gonna go in the glove box.
Floor mats.
Floor mats.
Nice floor mats too.
Mm-hmm.
Looks.
What is this? Oh, charging kit.
Okay. Okay, oh that's nice, it separates. And then you have like a foam divider in here. Oh, okay, so it has there's probably no spare tire. They do have an air pump with a sealant. Which is what Tesla and Hyundai and all the other companies are doing. This might...
Do we know of any EV vehicle that has a full spare? I don't know of one.
The Chevy Bolt I know doesn't, although it looks like it could fit one.
Mm-hmm.
The Hyundai doesn't, the Kia doesn't, and yeah, I don't. The Teslas don't.
The Teslas definitely don't.
I don't know anyone that does. I don't know why they're getting. I like having a spare tire. I'm actually considering buying one. You can get. I have another link I can send you that has a company that makes aftermarket spare tires
for specific vehicles.
Yeah, for specific vehicles, and you can get with or without the jack and the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but there's plenty of room back here, I think. I mean, the fact that it's got a sloped rear. You know, you are sacrificing a little bit of space, and you can remove this, obviously, but this piece right here can be removed, and that'll gain you a little bit more room.
Easy disconnect.
Easy disconnect. But yeah, no question about it. You do have plenty of room back here, so cool. Now this is the Engage e-4ORCE. I guess the Force is the 4-wheel drive system. Now, this particular model only has one shark fin antenna. I did see some of the other models had 2. And I'm not quite sure why. You know, I don't know if it's part of the Sirius satellite system or the GPS system, but this one has one. Yeah, exactly.
Cars that do satellite and radio
with only one antenna, so I really don't know why. Yeah, let's go on the interior and let's check this out. So like one of the things that I noticed is the pattern of the plastics that they have inside. Now the one thing I figured out is that this right here, I learned this pattern is an old Japanese pattern for light lanterns like 1,000 years ago, and they used this pattern in this vehicle here, and it's kind of like spread out all throughout the car. It's on the speakers, it's on this, there's backlighting here for at night. Underneath the dashboard back there's that pattern. On your footrest here, the pattern exists. And even back here in the rear of the car, well, you know what? The floor mats have that pattern. It's not the carpeting itself, but the floor mats in the rear have that pattern. So, and it kind of follows through. There is no lighting in the rear doors, but just the front doors. But the speakers and this door does have that pattern, which I thought was really neat.
You may be able to hear it, but I noticed the one difference between gas and electric cars, not that gas cars can't have it, but I noticed that because of the engine noise, the auto manufacturers are not typically concerned about noisier air conditioning compressors. But what I've noticed with the electric cars, they're really focusing, because the car's so quiet in general, you can hear the noises more. They're putting really quiet AC compressors. Like I can't even hear it on my car.
Yeah, I think even the fans are a little bit more quiet. Yeah. They're actually hyper-focusing on all of the sound deadening,
right,
and everything they could do to make all those individual components quieter. Yeah, no question about it. Now, is the compressor is not working right now at this point?
I think it is, because the air conditioner is on right now.
Car is on, AC is on.
You know, the car is literally running right now. It's so quiet.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's definitely on.
There is something running in the front of the car.
Let's open up the front hood. Okay. Maybe we can find out. All right, let's see. I don't believe they have a frunk. They just filled the entire front end of this with the electrical components. I mean, this looks like a proper engine, to be honest. Like, it's literally all the electric components.
The air conditioning is definitely on. You can see the condensation forming.
Okay.
I think what we're hearing is actually the fan, the radiator fan, but the air conditioner compressor is actually quiet.
Yeah, the radiator fan is a little bit on the loud side. I mean, they should probably work on that a little bit. But otherwise, I mean, explain to me what all this stuff is. Do you know?
Okay, so this is typically what we're seeing here is like underneath you got the motor, but then you also have an inverter, you know, electronics package that controls the 12-volt DC system, and then
converts it to AC, right?
There's going to be an AC to DC converter and so forth. So what we're seeing typically on top is the electronics that convert the electricity, and then also and then as you get down lower, you're going to have the powertrain, which is going to be the motor.
And normally they would have this stuff kind of either behind the dashboard or maybe on the sides, and that'll reduce some of the space in the room that's inside your driver compartment area.
Yeah, some of the manufacturers are putting this equipment that we're seeing here in the battery.
In the battery itself.
Or near the battery, underneath the car. Yeah, or somewhere else.
I like how it's here because it seems easily accessible, and if there's a problem with the inverter, they can easily remove it.
True. You're losing the front space, but you're, in some respects, I guess for...
Who cares about the front space? I mean, like, honestly, the cars that I've seen, the front space is, like, barely enough to put a suitcase, you know, so why even bother having it?
Personally, I don't use it. I mean, if they seal it well, you might get more dirt in that area anyway from the front of the car, but...
Right.
But if they seal it well, you don't have to worry about dust and dirt, but yeah. I guess here you're not so worried about putting things in the front. So.
And your typical maintenance stuff, you know, windshield wiper fluid. I guess these are the coolants, brake fluid, your typical battery for accessories and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, this is just a regular. It looks like a regular lead acid battery. It's just a typical 12-volt battery that's operating your fan right now, the air conditioning system, and things like that.
And I'm assuming these are all the engine mounts and everything that connects to the body.
Part of that, yeah.
Right.
This is actually this looks like it's holding up the charger assembly.
Charger assembly.
What's in the middle underneath.
Okay. And all the whole high voltage cabling, which is in orange.
Orange is high voltage. It looks like that's what's connected into this box here. So.
Okay.
So if you want to charge the car, most likely it's going to be going through these circuits.
Oh, and the Nissan emblem is lit. I didn't see that before. That's pretty cool.
So they do have coolant fluid, because a lot of the electric cars still obviously have radiators. So
we've got one here and one on that side.
And sometimes you'll have more than one. I noticed like Tesla, even Kia, some of the Kias and some of the newer Hyundais are doing one coolant bottle, which does both, everything, the battery, the motor. But on some cars they're separating them. On my Hyundai they separated it, so they have two. One might be for the battery and the other one might be for the motor.
The motor itself, exactly, to keep that cool. So the other thing I noticed too is that it's got this like passive air vent here that goes out to the tires. You know, the kind of cool. Well, it doesn't cool anything. It just kind of like rushes through, comes out this end, and in front of this wheel. So I'm not really quite sure what that is. If that's just more for looks,
I'm not sure.
Or aerodynamics a little bit. I'm not quite sure. But there are some Aero features on this, you know, on the bottom, the side that I just pointed out, and even in the rear of the car, there's some Aero features in this top spoiler here. You could probably see it. Hopefully you can see it. Yeah. So air can kind of like rush through and then come through the back, and then maybe give a little downforce on the rear of the car. Do you want to try the blinkers? I want to see what the rear blinkers look like. Yeah, so standard LED blinkers, nothing special. Okay. I mean, I like the LED. Brake lights. Cool. All right, so real quickly on the sticker itself, 389 horsepower with an AC synchronous motor, 87 kilowatt usable lithium ion battery with liquid cooling, battery heater, 7.2 kilowatt onboard charger. So 7.2 kilowatt charger, is that like average, I would say?
Okay, no, that's pretty low, I think.
That's low. So your charging is not going to go as fast. So maybe like a 0 to 80% is probably going to take a little bit longer than your typical car.
That's your slow charger for, like, I guess, home charging. So
Home charging.
in other words,
wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, pretty decent navigation system. So base price for this model is $51,190. A couple other options. Destination charges, you're at $53,000. With the markups, you're talking adjusted markup of $10,000. You're at $63,000. You could probably find this vehicle without any like dealer markups, but for this particular dealer, they have a $10,000 markup, so they're at $63,000. So it's a little bit more on the high end, definitely, in terms of EV vehicles. You know, I mean, how much was an ID4?
yeah,
And the ID4 was probably in the $50,000 range.
yeah.
Doesn't have power seats on the passenger side, just on the driver's side. And I almost forgot, I hid my phone in this, what could be a wireless charger, but in this case it's not a wireless charger. If it is, there will be a little indicator right here that shows that it's a wireless charger. And it's got a real funky shifter knob here. You know, it's a little different than your normal shifter knob. So definitely. Cup holders, and you can hide the cup holders. This moves up and down. There's controls on the side to move it up and down, or forward and back, I should say.
Yeah, it's nice.
There is 2 glove boxes, believe it or not. And I think on some models, this is a hidden glove box. It's not manual like this one is. This one is manual, and you can kind of put stuff in here and hide it. And then this is your normal glove box. So kind of lightweight, a little chintzy, but you know what? Nothing really kind of lines up 100%, but it is a glove box. And all of these buttons, these controls that are right here, are touch sensitive. It gives you a little bit of feedback when you're using it, so there's a little bit of a bump every time you increase or lower. Turn the and this changes color. If you turn the recirc off and turn it on, it turns orange. So it's dual climate control also, and you control fan speed. So you still have the controls, the tactile controls. They're not buttons per se. These are these, what are they called?
Touch sensitive?
Touch sensitive, you know, type buttons. And I believe it works off of the heat and slight pressure, because I'm barely touching it and it's making it change. Volume knob, radio, hazard light, and forward and back is weird. It's up and down instead of side to side. So that's interesting. That's something to get used to. So hopefully you can get used to that. And the dashboard itself, I would say like that's got to be like 12.5 inch screens, 2 of them. And what I like about this is that it actually curves out towards the driver. So it actually brings this side, which you're going to point to and use the touch screen and all that kind of stuff. I know some people like that. There you go. For all the people that like removing that stuff. Anyway, so it does come a little bit closer to you so that you can actually access it. Does it make it easier for you, like when you touch the screen?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is still a little far.
Still a little far, but I guess depending on how you position your seat.
Does it have controls on the steering wheel to control anything?
Yeah, there's some volume. I mean, you got your
Voice command
button.
Oh, it does have voice command. Hey Nissan. Hey Nissan. Well, maybe it doesn't want me. It doesn't like me anymore.
Maybe it depends on the model.
Nissan.
I don't know.
Please say or select a command.
Bring me back to Nissan Hanover, New Jersey. Oh, it's taking a little while.
Nissan dealer
There you go.
Hanover. say or select another number.
Calculate route.
Calculating route. The route calculation
Not bad.
is complete. Proceed
Nice
to the
screen.
next road.
Let's see the reverse. I want to see what it looks like in reverse. See what this looks like.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Oh, it's a big screen. It doesn't have the 360, but it does have the full rear screen. That's cool.
I do like the 360. I wish they would offer
The 360 is
as a
nice.
standard, but
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's like an option for almost all vehicles now,
Yeah.
you know, but that should be a standard for sure.
it just helps. It's for safety. It helps with driving.
There you go, your parking brake, your on-off button right there.
Yeah, you have your typical like cruise control options on the steering wheel. You have volumes, radio controls, your telephone controls. It looks like they're. I'm not sure what this
That's
is.
the Nissan 360.
Oh, the
That's the
Nissan,
safety,
gotcha.
right? And then it's got the overhead display. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's got an overhead display. All right, okay, let's take it for a spin. It's a little compartment right there for a phone too, actually. And it looks like it's got a spot where you can wrap a wire around it. It's pretty interesting. And a 12 volt cigarette lighter. USB-A and USB-C. All right.
Very smooth, very quiet, very well built. I don't know. It feels like a solid car.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, when I was driving it, it felt really smooth. I mean, for 63 grand, it better be pretty smooth.
Yeah, I know, right?
But this is not bad. I mean, if you have the money and you want to spend it on something like this, I think this is a little bit more, maybe a little bit more luxurious. Maybe the interior is a little nicer. You know, in terms of the quality, like, you know, like this, not necessarily fit and finish, but like the use of colors and fabrics and leathers and stuff like that. But I don't think it's a deal breaker, to be quite honest. Nothing that's gonna like really bring me over the edge, I don't think.
Oh, that's nice. I can see the navigation in the heads-up
In the heads-up
display. It
display.
shows that in 3/4 of a mile I have to make a right.
Do you think it's as quiet as yours?
Yeah, I would say it's just about as quiet. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty similar. I mean, I think my car might be a little lower to the ground, so maybe in the highway speeds are going to get a little lower road, like wind noise, but I don't know, it feels similar.
And you can see how it says 343 miles to empty, which
Turn right
is
after a quarter
pretty
of a
damn
mile
impressive.
onto Patch Avenue.
This also has e-step. And e-step is basically what they explained to me is e-step is not 100% one pedal drive. It still does coast to a stop,
Flash flood
but it does.
warning in about 47.5
Flash flood
miles
warning.
from current location.
Oh boy. Anyway, so
Turn next right.
so e-step basically gives you the ability to, and then you got different drive modes. You have, in this particular model, you have Sport, Standard, Eco, and Snow mode. I don't believe there's anything else. No, just that. So just leaving it in Standard mode.
Turn left after 1/2 mile.
I'm not really quite sure what the Eco mode would do. Maybe just kind of be a little bit more efficient with the AC usage and all that kind of stuff. So it minimizes how often that turns on, the compressor turns on. And it does have a lot of pep. I mean, with the power that it's got, it does feel very powerful. 389 horsepower. I don't recall what the foot-pounds is. I think it's like 400 foot-pounds, which is pretty amazing. I mean, that's like Ford Explorer ST numbers. All right, the website's a little annoying because it kind of flip-flops, but let's see if I can record this. So basically what you're seeing is the numbers here are a little bit different. I think the spec that I'm pulling up is the 63 kilowatt hour unit. That's got 109 city MPGEs, 101 combined MPGEs, 160 kilowatt electric motor. Let's see.
Turn left after a quarter.
All right, so technically the MSRP, base MSRP is $43,190. You're looking at 205 to 216 mile battery only range, and that's for the 4-wheel drive, but that something seems a little off there, so we're gonna have to check that out. About 147 miles in 35 minutes, 80% charge. Horsepower is 214 to 335 horsepower. All-wheel drive, front-wheel drive options. Curb weight is between 4,300 and 4,600 pounds. Your typical warranty, 3 years, 36,000 mile basic, 5 year, 60,000 mile powertrain warranty. So, I mean, I know there's a lot of different models and different types of this vehicle. I mean, no question about it. I think there's like probably 5 or 6 different platforms, different options that you can get on this vehicle. So it's a little confusing. You're gonna have to kind of navigate through their website, kind of build a couple of them and see what works best for you. Whether you need 4-wheel drive or just a front-wheel drive option is better for you if you're more concerned about mileage or whatever the case is. So you kind of option out the vehicle that you want. So what's your overall feel of the car, Dave?
I mean, I feel very comfortable in the car. It seems like a very well-built, comfortable car to drive. I think if you're looking for something a little more SUV-ish.
Yeah, it definitely feels like an SUV.
Yeah, it's probably a little taller, a little higher. It's easy to get into, don't get me wrong. So it's a comfortable car. I would feel very comfortable buying and driving this car as a family car or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you have the money and you're willing to spend, $60,000+, I mean, that's with the markups. I know not every dealer has a markup. Oh, there you go. You got your heated steering wheels, all that kind of stuff. But you got to do it through the screen, which is a little bit of a bummer. But
yeah, right. There's nothing here.
No. And those buttons are kind of small. But I think this is a pretty decent model. I mean, you're getting a lot for your money. But to be honest, I mean, what impresses me the most about this car is the styling and the mileage. The fact that it says that you can go 329 miles or 350, what we had before, and this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, that was impressing me.
What I've noticed with electric cars is, look, if you're heavy on the pedal, don't expect a good range. But if you drive it nice, you can. And you drive, and if you drive, and especially on back roads like 50-mile-per-hour roads, you could do really well. You'll usually get above the EPA rating.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, don't stomp on the pedal. Just be fair with the whole thing. The whole idea. I mean, even with a gas-powered car, you have to be that way.
It is fun to drive heavy pedal. Don't get me wrong, but if you drive it normal, like a normal car, you're gonna get better range.
Yeah, agreed. All right.